I'm going to talk about lie and lay. So these are two that I get confused sometimes. So I thought if I taught it, it might help me a little bit to get it solidified in my head. So I taught this to some kids a few years ago in a grammar class. And I put these two songs, the conjugations of these verbs, into different songs to help them memorize them. So to lay means to put. And chickens put eggs into their nests, or they lay eggs, right? So they're moving their egg from their body to the nest. So that's so what are they doing? They're putting an egg in the nest. They're laying the egg in the nest. So I put this song to the song Turkey in the Straw, which is a bluegrass song. I used to be in a bluegrass band. So here we go. Two lays, laid, laying, laid. 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 Try not to cough here. Anyway, so those are, I forgot to mention, so infinitive is just to plus the verb. This is the present tense. This is the past tense. This is the present participle, which is present tense, which is this one plus ing. And it's usually followed by a verb, the verb to be. And then past participle is, it's usually preceded by has, have, had, okay? Had laid the egg in the nest, okay? So I forgot to mention that. So anyways, let's do lie. The song that I chose for this one was Old Joe Clark, which is another bluegrass song. And old people need to rest, so here we go. To lie, lies, lay, lying, lane. 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 Now the first thing I would do, getting into a test, and I come across a question that's asking me to choose between lie and lay, is I would write these two columns out really quickly. I would just write lie, lies, lay, lying, lane, or whatever. And then I'd write this one right next to it. And the question is going to probably have the same tense. For example, the past tense, is it lay or is it laid? Or is it lie or lay? Okay, I don't know. But it's going to tell you right here. So if you have them written down, then you'll be able to tell which one it is. So to lay is always going to have an object, or or an object is a noun, right? So it's going to have an object in it. It's going to have a noun or a pronoun or something. And you're going to ask yourself, put what? And if that doesn't make sense in the question, when you're asking, if you're replacing he lay, he lay the egg. He laid what? He laid the egg. He laid the egg, okay? So lie, it means to rest. It's not actually putting something from one place to another. It's just resting there. Somebody is resting, and it's not going to be attached to a noun. It's usually going to be a where. Where was it resting? Okay, so you're going to ask yourself, resting where or put what? And that's how you're going to tell the difference. Now let's turn to page 283 in Morrison's Guide, and we will go through this. Here's the first question. The transcripts lay or laid on the table. Well, there's no noun following it. There is a prepositional phrase, so it's going to be somewhere. So the transcripts rested where? They rested on the table. So it's going to be lay. If I put what, it would make sense. The transcripts put what? On the table. There's no noun there, so it can't be laid. The transcripts lay on the table. And in in Morrison's Guide, she has it listed as the lie verb first and then the lay verb second on each one. Lie verb and lay verb, okay? So that's nice, so I don't have to figure out which one is which. So this next one, they had lain there for several days, or they had put what for several days. There's no noun there, so it's going to be lain because they were already there. They were just laying there for several days, okay? They were actually not laying. They were lying there for several days. Okay, I even said it wrong there. But they were lying there for several days. They had lain there. And there's had, lain. And had is the past participle. Okay. Who had laid them there. See, them is a pronoun, so it's going to be laid. Who had laid them there? Okay, they were put there. Who had put them there? Who had put what? Who had put them there? Okay, the reporter saw them lying or laying on a table. No, the reporter saw them. She or he didn't actually put them. She saw them lying. They were sitting there. So they were resting there on the table. See, there's the prepositional phrase. Now, let's just jump down to number 6. She still wondered why they were lain or laid there, and by whom. Now, this is the passive voice I was talking about. When you have laid is the past participle, but there is a to be verb in with it. Okay, and this is where it gets tricky. So I hope this makes sense. But if you have this question right here, she wondered why they were laid there and by whom. Okay, they weren't resting there, they were actually put there. They were put there and by whom. See, we know it's like she wondered why the chicken laid the egg there or whatever, So she had wondered why they were put there. So that is actually because it has were and then the past participle, it's going to be the lay verb. Okay, that's kind of confusing. If you can think about it, we'll get to another one here. Let's go down here. I'm going to switch this around so it's not a question. They were being. There's being. That's a to be verb. They were being laid aside. Okay, they were being put aside for someone else. See, they were being put aside. They were not resting aside. They were being put there because there's the being and then there is the past tense. All right, they were being laid aside. All right, there's one more in here. The victim's coat was carefully laid on a nearby bench. Okay, the coat was put there. And it's confusing because it's followed by a prepositional phrase. But because it has am is our was is a to be verb, am is our was, were, be, being, been, was laid. And this is, of course, the past participle. Okay, so whenever you have the to be verb plus the past participle, it's going to be lay, to lay, or laid. Okay, the coat was carefully laid on a nearby bench. It was being put on a nearby bench. It was resting there, but it was being put there, probably by the suspect. The suspect laid the coat, okay, on a nearby bench. Okay, and so I hope that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it, but you just have to be really, if you know your am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been, to be verbs, and you know your past participle, and you have a to be and a past participle together, it's being put there, okay? And we'll just do a couple more just for the fun of it. A weapon lay several feet away from the body. Okay, a weapon can't put something, and there's no noun following it. A weapon rested where? The weapon rested several feet away from the body. Are you familiar with the expression, if you rest where? Down with the dogs. Or if you put what? Down with the dogs. That doesn't make sense. Down is a preposition. So if you lie down with dogs, you'll get up with fleas. Okay, let's do another one here. Did you recite as a child, now I lie me down to sleep, or lay me down to sleep? We know it's lay me down to sleep, but why is it that? Well, what did you put? Now I put what? I put me. Now me is a pronoun. Now I put me down to sleep. Okay, I put myself down to sleep. So I lay me down. Now, if it was just now I lay down to sleep, that wouldn't be right. It would be now I lie down to sleep. Okay, so if that me was not there, then it would be lie, because that's a noun or a pronoun, right? And down to sleep is a prepositional phrase. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that was helpful.